What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 2Dub Sports channel and the College Football 27 Coaching Carousel Dynasty. Now, the reason I call this a Coaching Carousel Dynasty is because unlike a typical dynasty where we would pick one team and build up that team to a national championship contender, in this series we are actually going to just follow the career of our coach. We're going to start at a very small program, a one-star program. We're going to build them up for a few years, and then we're going to move up to a bigger program, maybe something like a 3-star. And then after that, we are going to move up to, of course, maybe a 4-star, maybe even a 5-star, a powerhouse program, and really compete for that national championship. In terms of the school that we are going to start with, we are going to start in the Mountain West. I originally wanted to start with the Nevada Wolfpack, but I eventually settled on the Wyoming Cowboys. The Cowboys are great because they have a lot of available dynasty points, 985, which is going to kind of jumpstart our career. They did have a pretty poor record the season before at 4-8, and they don't have a ton of talent on the roster, at least talking about overall. We are going to go ahead and create our new coach here. The previous coach has not really done that much for Wyoming, so we're going to create a recruiter, and our coach is going to be Trey Summers. We're just going to rock with Wyoming's default playbooks on offense and defense for now. And then if we take a look at the 80 expectations, we just need to make a bowl game in the next 3 seasons. Pretty easy. Win 50% of your conference games this season. Seems doable to me. And then we needed to win more conference games this year than last year, which I think was only 2 or 3, so that should be pretty easy. Taking a look at our support staff here, our coordinators are not good. They are on expiring contracts. We are going to look at our support staff. For this, I was between, which fundraising level I wanted for the support staff. There's really the fundraising team and then the fundraising lead. I decided to go ahead with the fundraising lead. The reason is it leaves us with some dynasty points, whereas the fundraising team would have given us a lot of dynasty points the next season, but it would have left us with no NIL this season. So at least after we're picking up these equipment facilities upgrades, we are going to have 485 remaining in NIL, which should be good to get a couple players. Now, taking a look at the roster, our star player is Samuel Harris, an 84 overall running back, but he does have a deal breaker of pro potential, which we are not meeting right now, and we probably are not going to meet by the end of the season. So we are going to have to look for our future at running back. We also have a good left tackle, good strong safety, good punter, good right tackle, and I say good at least for the Mountain West. But a lot of these guys have deal breakers, so that is a concern moving forward. How many of these guys are we actually going to be able to keep going into the next season? We don't have a ton of NIL. I don't know if these guys are really worth paying a ton of NIL. Even our starting quarterback here, although he is a redshirt senior, so he's leaving anyway. So guess we're not really too concerned there. Speaking of quarterbacks, we do have a redshirt freshman, Mason Drube, I don't know how you say his name. He looks decent. Don't really know if I want him to be the quarterback of the future, but he's all right. He is a pocket passer, doesn't really fit Wyoming's style of running the football. Tyler Hughes, he definitely fits that style of running the football. He is a pure runner with the option king physical ability. He has some decent speed at 83. It's not great, to be honest with you. And honestly, his passing is not really that great either. But we're going to make it work with Tyler Hughes. He is definitely the starter. And like I said, our star player is Samuel Harris. 89 speed. Not that great, but we're going to make it work. We have Holman behind him. And then we have Ames at the 3rd string. Ames will probably get a lot of playing time because he does have very good change of direction. He has really good acceleration. He's going to feel a little shiftier maybe than our other 2 backs. Maybe not Harris, but probably more than Holman. They all have the same archetype of east-west playmakers, so we don't really have a ton of variety in our backs. So we will have to see how we are able to use them going forward. And then when it comes to wide receiver, our starting wide receiver is Holman, another Holman, which is interesting. We've got Richardson backing him up. And then we have DeBlanc as well. We have a couple impact devs here on the wide receiver team, wide receiver group, but they're not really that great, our wide receivers. Tight ends, overall wise, they're not great, but they're going to get a lot of use, especially Siddons. Siddons is our starter here, decent catching at 79, and he has some decent speed at 76. But something you're going to learn as you watch me play games is I love to use tight ends. Our second string tight end is Nathan Curry. He's a blocker. We don't want him catching footballs. He only has 50 catching. And then we have Frent as our third string right now, but who I'm really excited about is Jake Wilson. Jake Wilson has a lot of speed. He's only a sophomore. He has some good catching. His catch in traffic is a little suspect, but I think Wilson is someone that can really factor into our offense now and can possibly be a good starting tight end next year. Defense, I'm excited about our defensive tackles, Williams and Drake. And then strong safety, we have a star player here in Hearns. He's going to get a lot of work over the season. Looking at the depth chart here, I'm going to go ahead and throw Wilson in that number 2 spot for tight end. I don't really want Curry out there again catching passes, and I love to throw to tight ends. So I need tight ends that can run. I need tight ends that can catch. We'll try to factor in Curry a little bit. He'll definitely be starting at the fullback spot at least. Looking at our recruiting board, being very aggressive at first here. A lot of 3 stars. Scotty McNichols, he is a gem dual threat athlete quarterback. He's going to be my number 1 target going forward. We have another quarterback we're scouting here, Mentor. He's a pure runner, might be another target. We're going to scout Gamez here, and there's another gem, a dual threat quarterback. He's going to be another target I'm really going to try to go after. And then we have a 2-star dual threat here. Probably not going to be as good as the 3 stars, of course, but if we can't land the 3 stars, we are only a 1-star program. I want to be a little realistic and at least put some 2 stars on the board to start with. Here we're scouting some wide receivers. We just scouted some halfbacks. We don't have a lot of hours though for scouting. We're not going to have a lot of hours in general, only 350 for scouting. And we just found a tight end that is a bust, so that's not great. Although really at Wyoming, we will take whoever we can get, honestly. I think I decided to only scout 2 stars from here on out since I can't scout all these 3 stars. Honestly, if you're a 3-star, you are probably good enough to play and start at Wyoming. So I'm not going to bother scouting the 2 stars anymore. And here you can see we have already run out of hours. I don't even know how many guys we actually were able to scout there. Moving on now to our custom schedules. The only thing I'm going to change is FCS Midwest. I don't really like to play FCS teams in this game. I just feel like it's kind of a waste. So I'm going to replace them with the Utah State Aggies, who are apparently a rival of Wyoming. I don't know much about Wyoming, to be completely honest with you. So that's the only change we're going to make to the schedule from the real life schedule. And hopping back into recruiting here, you can see that I made a lot of changes. I went from 35 targets down to 17 targets. We added a lot more 2 stars, even a couple 1 stars. I realized that I need to be very stingy with my scouting points. But we're going to hop into the first game here against the Colorado State Rams. This, I think, is a rivalry game. I believe a lot of our first few games are going to be rivalry games. But I am excited to hop into this one and just see what this Wyoming team has. And Colorado State is going to kick off to us first. DeBlanc is going to receive it, and he is going to take it up to around the 20-yard line, make it the 21-yard line. And here you can see the last meeting of the rivalry. Colorado State's winning it now, 60-52, but we're going to hopefully change that in our time with Wyoming. First play, read option handoff to 26, and he gets a pickup of 5. we are going to be a heavy run team at Wyoming. Wyoming's cold. It's probably going to be snowy. We don't have a very good throwing quarterback, so we should not be throwing the ball a lot, but we are going to throw the ball here at 3rd and 6. We're looking for the tight end, and he cannot haul it in. He takes a hit. Wasn't really a lot going on there, and we are going to punt away on our first ever drive as a Wyoming head coach to the Rams, and he's going to break that tackle. And then number 9, impact player, he only had one guy to beat, which was the punter. 32 is not going to catch number 9, and that is going to be a punt return touchdown on our first ever punt of this series. And that is not the start you want on special teams. Jordan Mosley, the wide receiver here, he just breaks out of that first tackle trying to go for a hit stick, and he was gone after that. No one else was going to catch him. So we might need to be a little more conservative on these punts to make sure that does not happen often. Right after that, they're kicking it right back off to DeBlanc. He's got a little bit of space here. He's going to get up to the 30-yard line, 35-yard line, make it the 36-yard line, and we are going to start our drive right here. First play of the drive. We're going to run a handoff to Harris, and then Harris has a little bit of space. He's going to pick up almost a first down, 2nd and inches for Harris here. Next, we're going to run the RPO. The RPO is going to be a favorite of Wyoming. We're going to throw this out to Holman, our starting wide receiver. He makes a little shifty move here to get to the 50-yard line. Next play, we're going to hand off to Harris again. Harris is looking for the edge. He does get there, and he's going to pick up a nice gain, looking like 15 yards, and he is already up to 29 rush yards on 4 attempts. 2nd and 7 now. We're going to throw the ball here, and Harris is actually going to take it himself, or Hughes, excuse me, and Hughes is going to make a little move, and he's going to get down to the 6-yard line. We definitely got to utilize Hughes' legs here. Hughes is a great runner, so even when we run a pass play, it might actually be a run play, and then this run play gets into the end zone easy, and Harris has our first touchdown of the series for Wyoming. Next play, they're going to run a play action. This is 1st and 10, the first play of Colorado State's drive, and they're going to hit their wide receiver there. Another play action, but we're going to get some pressure, and it's going to be 2nd and 10. That's what we need to be doing often. Next play, 3rd and 3 now. They're going to hand off, and that's going to be 4th and 2, so we're going to hold them there. And they're going to have to punt back to us, or they're actually going to go for it on 4th and 2. Quick throw. Their wide receiver had to jump to get it. That is the guy who scored the punt return on us, and just nothing we could really do to cover there. We're going to bring the blitz now, 3rd and 7, deep in our territory, and the Rams quarterback is just going to run by us. Something I've noticed playing college football 27, you got to spy these quarterbacks. They are so much better at running the ball this year than they were in years previous. Here we are, 3rd and 6 on our next drive, and we throw it out to Siddons. Siddons makes a great catch and a great move to get us almost to the 50-yard line. What a catch. Just shake the defender off and make a great gain. 1st and 10 now. That's the next play in the drive. We're going to do an RPO to Siddons. Again, keep him hot. He's on fire. Let's see here. We have on a 3rd and 6, and it gets dropped by number 2. I believe that is Richardson, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, it's 3rd and 7 now for the Rams. They have a guy in motion. It's going to be a pass. He's looking for someone, and they are not going to pick up that first down. They're going to punt it back to us. On our next drive, it is 2nd and 9. We are looking to pass, and then Hughes sees that opening in the middle, and we are going to take it every time. That's a gain of 12 or 13, and we love to see that. On the next play, we're going to run it with Harris, and Harris has a lane. What a good block by 63, and then 83 as well. We are down up to the 5-yard line, 1st and goal. Harris is already up to 14 rushes and 95 yards. He is carrying us. We have a little run pass option here. We're going to just hand it off to Harris, and he does get stuffed. It is now 4th and goal. Coach Summers wants to go for it. I agree with him. Let's run it with Harris. He has been great all day. The blocking looks decent. We're going to hand it off, and we are going to get stuffed. So it is going to remain 7-14. Now we do have the Rams on the 1 yard line. Can we possibly stop them? We are not bringing the blitz. We're just running a normal 4-man rush, and the Rams are going to get by us and up to the 23-yard line. So there goes our hopes of a safety. Few more plays later, they're at the 49-yard line. 3rd and 10 for them, though. Can we hold here? And we are going to get a sack. That is Jaden Williams up the middle. I was excited about these defensive tackles. And there we go. We are going to call a timeout. We've got a minute to go do something. It's 3rd and 1 now. We're going to hand it off to Harris. He is just money almost every time on these short yardage situations. Up to the 33 now. We definitely have a chance to put up some points here and tie up this game. Right back to Harris. Look at these blocks. Number 9 with a great block on the outside. Harris with a great move. And we are down to the 4 with 41 seconds remaining. Harris is going to get a ton of usage over this season. He is at 19 rushes, 142 yards, which is crazy. Holman, the backup, is going to get in the game now. We're going to try to get it to Siddons. He gets interfered with, so pass interference is going to give us a whole new set of downs, which works for us. We're at the 1 yard line now, 1st and goal, and we're just going to run that quarterback power, make it easy with Hughes, get him that rushing touchdown, and we are looking good. It's going to be 14-14, 30 seconds left. Colorado State's going to try something here. They're going to throw it, and the quarterback had a lane to run, but he's going to throw it instead right to our top corner, Mackey. And Mackey is going to get a pick 6. That is disastrous for the Rams. What are they doing? He throws it all the way across the field, right into the waiting arms of Mackey, and he's going to take that back for a 6. So we are looking great now. 21-14, 21 seconds. The Rams are still going to try to get some points. And their quarterback is going to throw it right to Mackey again. That's back-to-back picks on defensive plays. And look at Mackey. No one's going to get him. And that is going to be back-to-back pick 6s for Logan Mackey. And that is just crazy. I'm sure it's happened in college football. Back-to-back pick 6s to the same player. But it has to be very rare. And we are now up 28-14 on the Rams. This game has completely flipped because I think with 40 seconds left, it was still 7-14, and now we have 28 points. So that was just a disastrous scenario for the Rams, but we are looking good for the rest of this game. Coming out of halftime now, we have 25 rush attempts for 196 yards. The Rams aren't doing too bad with 12 rush attempts and 102 yards, but it's not really serving them too well looking at the score. They probably need to run it a little bit more and maybe not pass it as much. We are going to kick it right off to the Rams and see what they can do. It is 3rd and 8 now, and we are getting some pressure, and it is another pick. Now, that was a crazy play because I think the Rams receiver caught it, got hit, and then it bounced off of the guy who hit the receiver into the hands of our safety, Thomas. And that is going to be a 3rd pick for Colorado State's quarterback. I think his name is Hedgney. I don't really know how you pronounce it. And here we are with Hughes. We're going to dump it off to Holman, our backup. No, not our backup running back. That's the wide receiver, Holman. I do think that Harris is a little banged up. He is going to be in this play. We're going to run the RPO, and we're going to hand it off to Harris, and that is another touchdown. So we are going up 35-14 on the Rams. I never saw this coming, especially because we were slightly struggling. So obviously the Rams gave the ball right back to us. I think it was just a quick 3-and-out. And we're looking to do something with Hughes, and he makes a great throw to Richardson. Richardson did drop a pass earlier, but he comes down with that one. Looks like Hughes has about 99 passing yards, which is exactly where we want to be. and that is going to take us into the third quarter. We are up by 21 points, and you can see the running back comparison here. Harris is banged up. Wear and tear is going to be an issue for Harris, especially at the amount that we use him in a game. Here we ended up at 4th and 1, and we're going to kick this field goal here, and that is going to make it 38-21. I missed a couple kicks in this game. I don't think I showed them, so I needed some practice there. And at this point, up 38-21, I'm just going to sim the rest of the game. There's only about a minute left, so there's no reason for us to play it. They're not going to come back in that amount of time. And we are going to take the Battle of the Boot and win our first game of the season in somewhat dominant fashion. I mean, the 2 pick sixes really helped us, but even without those 14 points, we still would have won the game. And speaking of which, there is your player of the game, Logan Mackey. I mean, back-to-back pick sixes is crazy. So all props go to Mackey. Although Harris did have a crazy game himself as a running back, we're just going to have to lean on him. He is extremely good. We do have some good blocking on the team, so I think we know the game plan going forward. Run, run, run. RPO, read option, and then just normal handoffs. That is the way to go. Hejny had a decent game outside of those 3 interceptions. Hughes, that's right where we want him. 14 attempts, 99 yards. That will work for us going forward. In terms of rushing, Samuel Harris, 25 attempts, 157 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's a lot of attempts probably, especially with wear and tear, so we might want to get those down and get our other 2 running backs involved more. Ames and Holman, especially Ames. I really liked what he did in this game with the limited amount of time that he had. Only 3 people caught a pass from Hughes, but that is completely fine when you only throw 14 passes or only attempt 14 passes. And congrats to Mackey here, winning Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week. And he also wins National Defensive Player of the Week. I imagine so, with back-to-back pick sixes. I don't think he did much else, but you don't need to do much else when you do that. So that's going to do it for our first episode. Next episode, we're going to take on the Utah State Aggies, who are also 1-0. I'm kind of trying to figure out if I want to do 1 game per episode or 2 games per episode. I think it's going to depend on exactly how the game shakes out. You know, if it's a blowout or something, then maybe we include 2 games in it. If it's one really good nail biter, maybe just 1 game. I'm not exactly sure. We'll see how we go on, but I hope you will join me for the next episode of our College Football 27 Coach Carousel Dynasty. Thanks for watching.